Hi everyone, I'm Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm so excited to be able to show you another beautiful new style from Gabor. This is Own the Room in SS Cappuccino. Before we start, as always, I wanted to ask, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe down below, like and comment, and we'll get started. So as you can see, Own the Room is just a gorgeous, sleek, mid-length style and has lots of wonderful layers and face framing pieces that kind of bend inward here. I just love that. I think that is such a flattering look, and these true-to-life heat-friendly synthetic fibers just feel so silky and look so natural. So let's go ahead and look at some of the details. First, the lace front. And this Gabor lace front is just done beautifully. You can see those knots are virtually undetectable. Then we have that zigzag parting in place right now, so we will work on that together, and I'll show you how I like to create a natural scalp appearance underneath there. But yes, she is just as pretty as can be, even just right out of the box without doing anything to her. So let's go ahead and look at the details from all sides. Here she is from the right and the back and the left. So I am absolutely loving this style. This is exactly the kind of style that I'm always drawn to. So I can't wait to see what she'll look like after I steam her a little bit and create that scalp appearance. We'll go ahead first and work on that part line and steaming away from the face, and then we'll look at the cap construction. We'll see if there's some styling options that we want to try, and lastly we'll take her outside and get a good look at this beautiful color in natural light. So before we start steaming, I want to go ahead and change the part line and remove the zigzag parting and get it exactly where I want it and clip it back so that I can steam the part line in place as well as steam the fibers away from the face. I am noticing that this piece here on the left is really draping into my face quite a bit, kind of a curtain shape there. And I think I'm going to steam this up and away from the face a little bit here on this side as well as here. That's just the look that I prefer. So let's do that together. Let's go ahead and change that part line. And I'm just running a rat tail comb down that zigzag, approximately where it is. And let's see how we like that. I think that looks good. It's a little hard to tell in the camera here, and I will want to put a piece of silicone tape underneath to really see where that part line falls now, but that feels pretty good, and I'm surprised by how well that's already, well, it's falling a little bit, so yeah, it definitely needs to be steamed. So let's go ahead and clip this back, because we'll steam the part line in place first, and then we'll steam the fibers away from the face after that. So let me go ahead and get my blockhead and steamer ready, and we'll do that together. So let's go ahead and do some steaming. So I have Own the Room here on a blockhead, and I did want to mention that I did play with that part line just a little bit more. I always like to make sure that it's exactly where I want it and looking exactly what I want it to look like before I clip it back and then steam it in place. Of course, you can change it again, but I like to do it once and do it right if at all possible. So before we start, I just wanted to mention that I did record a video previously all about how I like to steam my wigs away from the face, and I will leave a link to that in the description box down below in case you'd like to watch it. I like to use this iSteam steamer. And I like to mention that you just need to be careful to try to keep the steam away from the lace front. Just use it on the fibers. And of course, be careful with fingers or anything like you would with any steamer, because it does get pretty hot. So let's go ahead and steam this part in place. All right, I think that's good. And next we'll go ahead and work on steaming the fibers away from the face. And so I want to clip that. And as I mentioned, I'm going to work on this left side first because it was falling or draping into my face quite a bit. And I want to steam this away from the face. So I'm just kind of finger combing it and and clipping it in place. And of course, for this new style to set, these fibers need to cool completely. So we will let it cool before we remove the clips. But let's go ahead and work on this side. All right. And now the right-hand side, which is where most of the weight is, since it's parted on the left here, I'm going to want to create sections. I usually just do 2 sections. You could do more if that works for you, whatever you think you need to do. So I'll create a back section and do it first, and then we'll steam the front after that. And I just kind of finger comb it, clip it in place. Loosen it just a little so that the steam can really get into those fibers. All right, and now I think we're ready for the front section. And again, I'm just finger combing this loosely. And I'm going to clip this in place behind, maybe give it a tiny twist, and then clip it in place behind the other clip. And I'll show you what that looks like. That way we're not disturbing anything we steamed previously. And make sure it's the shape you want. And we'll go ahead and steam that. All right, that should do it. Now I'm going to let her cool completely. We'll put her back on and see if we like the results. So now she's nice and cool, and I think we're ready to go ahead and look at the results. So let's remove the clips. I think I want to tuck my bio hair under a little more there. Oh, I like that a lot. Just a little bend away from the face there. A little lift and outward bend. Okay, and let's look at this side. So that's the front one and the back one. And then I'm just going to comb her with my fingers. She's still a little damp, and that's fine. She is completely cool though. So there we go. This is the look that I like to achieve. And I know that's not for everyone, but I just really prefer this look. And also I feel like the fibers stay away from my face much more this way. So let me go ahead and do my test. So the weight of it will want to pull over a little bit, but you can just brush it back. I definitely think it is much better than it was before. And we'll definitely talk about some styling options as well if you want to style fibers away from the face throughout the day. There we go. I really am liking this look. Next, we'll go ahead and look at the cap construction. First, we have a left mono part here, and it's a nice long left mono part. A beautiful extended lace front, and I just love those for creating the appearance of hair growth all along that lace front. It's really wonderful. Then we have soft felt ear tabs with metal stays, an extended nape for a bit of extra coverage, Velcro adjusters so you can adjust her to your circumference, and an open wefted side and back, and there's a good amount of stretch. Now, with the last Gabor style that I tried, Trend Alert, I had to loosen the adjusters as much as possible for my 22-inch circumference head. I'm not finding that to be the case with Own the Room. I left the adjusters, I believe, where they were. You absolutely could let these out a bit more. And so I think that this style is fits a little larger than the Trend Alert did, at least on me. So lovely cap construction. I think next we'll look at some styling options. So before we go over some styling options, I wanted to do a quick color comparison for you. I think this is important, and when I reviewed Trend Alert recently, I was asked if this new Gabor shade, in that case it was the shaded iced pumpkin spice, was the same as the same shade in Raquel Welch. And I was only able to compare it to a color sample from the color ring, but this time I actually happen to have a second style in shaded cappuccino, so we can compare the Raquel Welch and Gabor shaded cappuccino colors. So here are the two cards. You can see there's portrait mode and the Own the Room in shaded cappuccino. Of course, the codes are slightly different. You have the RL in front of the Raquel Welch code, and you have the GF in front of the Gabor code. And it's listed as SS Cappuccino, which SS, I believe, stands for shadow shade and is generally referred to as shaded cappuccino. So those are the colors we're looking at. Here we have Own the Room, which is what we're looking at today. And here we have Portrait Mode by Raquel Welch, also in shaded cappuccino. So let's go ahead and look at the details of these colors. First, if you look at the top of the head, you can see the rooting, and I'll angle it a little bit both ways. And to my eye, I believe that the Gabor color, this one, has more of a dark rooting. I absolutely see more of that dark brown rooting in the Gabor shaded cappuccino than I do in the Raquel Welch one. So that's the first difference that I see. Then if we turn them both to the right and look closely, you can see that in portrait mode, you have quite a bit of chunky highlighting. You can see that light blonde highlighting, very chunky. And in the Gabor style, it is much more blended, much more sort of uniform. You'd absolutely have those light blonde highlights in there, but they are blended. And from the back, I would say again, you see more of the highlighting in the Raquel Welch style than in the Gabor. And from the left, I think here it's a little bit more similar. You have less highlighting visible in the Raquel Welch on this side. But absolutely for the other sides, I would say you see quite a bit more highlighting. Then we have the front hairline. Now, I'll probably need to take them off the styrofoam head to show you clearly, because for the Gabor style, you can see you have some nice subtle highlighting in the front, just enough to obscure those knots and make for a very natural hairline. And then you have, I did notice this one little chunk of highlighting right by the part line here. So we'll look at that when we look at the inside of the cap. And then let's just quickly first compare the Raquel Welch style. Brush this back a little. You can see there's quite a bit more blonde highlighting in the front, a little bit more of a band of highlighting in the front. Still very lovely, but much more noticeable. So if we take them off, we can compare the inside of the caps. There you go. And actually I should do it this way because that's how I had it before. This is the Gabor style, this is the Raquel Welch style. Now look at the difference in terms of the width of that blonde highlighting in the front. You have quite a bit more of a stripe of highlighting in the front here on the hairline, and it's less on the Gabor style. You have this little triangle here. That is where we saw that little chunk of highlighting by the part line. So that's interesting how visible that is. But you can see the difference there. So absolutely, I would say there is more of that bold light blonde highlighting in the front on the Raquel Welch style than on the Gabor. So overall, just to recap, I think that the colors are very similar in the two styles. Certainly the 12 and the 22 are both there, but there's a bit of a difference in the rooting being darker on the Gabor style. There's a difference in terms of how blended the highlighting is. It was absolutely more chunky and bold on the Raquel Welch style. And then at the front hairline, I would say the Gabor style had far less of the blonde highlights right in the front. There were some, absolutely, and it was blended very nicely, and there was one little chunk, but the Raquel Welch style absolutely had far more of the blonde highlighting at the front hairline. So I hope that's helpful. Next, let's look at some styling options. So one of my favorite things to do is to try different styling options with these longer styles, and especially a sleek, lower density style like this, I think will lend itself to many lovely styling options, half updos, complete updos. So let's take a look at a few. First, I would say let's try a little clip. We did steam these fibers, so they're not falling in my face hardly at all. But if you just want to, throughout the day, completely secure these front fibers, you could pull them back with just a pretty little clip. Any little hair clip will do, or claw clip, or barrette. And then I'll just pin that back. There we go. Make sure all my bio hair is there. Okay, so that's one easy way just to keep the fibers away from your face, and you can play with fun hair accessories. I enjoy doing that. Then, of course, I have my headband, and I like doing this because it also allows me to show you exactly what kind of coverage I'm getting from this style. Okay, so we have, as we discussed, that extended lace front that I love. And I'm feeling that my bio hair needs to be tucked. Okay, so I'm feeling for the lace, and it goes from about here to about here. That's the extended lace front. That's all along there. You're getting the appearance of natural hair growth. I do have a fairly low hairline, so you are seeing my bio hair here and all around the ears here. These are the ear tabs. And if I bend those stays down and place my finger under the ear tab, that's where the ear tabs end on me. And all my measurements are listed in the description box down below if you'd like to see them to compare to your own. So this is absolutely an easy way just to style those fibers away from the face throughout the day. And I am loving that this rooting is matching the darker brown bio hair really well. And I feel like I can get away with this. If I needed to, in places where there's more of that blonde highlighting, I would just add some Color Wow root powder in blonde on my darker bio hair, and that will help that blend in even more. So that's one option. And then lastly, I do want to show you a ponytail. I just love ponytails in the summertime. So let's go ahead and gather these fibers. And just so you know, my very fine and thin bio hair is out, and I'm going to use that in combination with the fibers to create the ponytail. And we'll just do an easy low ponytail. And because we do have some shorter pieces in the front, we'll pull some out and have those framing the face. All right, and I'm wrapping that. And I'm wrapping it 3 times, so that is fairly low density. All right, make sure that the sides are blended here. And so here are some of those shorter pieces. You could leave it all out, or maybe we'll just leave a little bit in the front and tuck the rest behind the ear. You could also pin it back, clip it back, whatever. And let's go ahead and see what that looks like from all sides. Here she is from the right and the back and the left. So yeah, I just love that kind of a style that you can pull up and away from your neck throughout the day, or if it's warm outside, and have that versatility, and then just remove it again and style it because you have heat-friendly synthetic fibers, or just leave it nice and sleek the way it is. I adore this kind of a style. So next we'll go ahead and look at these beautiful colors in natural lighting. So Shaded Cappuccino by Gabor is just a stunning color. I absolutely love it. I love the rooting. I love the blend of the colors. The code again for this Shaded Cappuccino is GF12-22SS, and I'll read you the description for it. It is a light golden brown, evenly blended with cool platinum blonde highlights and dark roots. So absolutely stunning. Let's look at the details. We have that lace front, and here you do see some of those light platinum blonde highlights that are blended in there. And you have that lace front that is wonderful. Those knots are virtually invisible. You have a beautiful parting space and that lovely dark rooting that matches the dark brown bio hair. And I did place a piece of silicone tape under there to help create a natural scalp appearance. And let's go ahead and take a good look at it from all sides. Here she is from the right and the back and the left. So absolutely, a very natural, beautiful blonde color, I would say. This would work for brunettes and blondes because you have that darker rooting, and I think it also would work with many different skin tones. I just love this color. So final thoughts. Own the Room is a gorgeous, gorgeous style. I love this kind of a mid-length style that is just beautiful, has some beautiful layering and face framing pieces. It's fairly low density, so that allows you to style her in an updo or ponytail very easily if that's what you're interested in. These heat-friendly synthetic fibers can be styled. Be sure to check the manufacturer's recommendations before you do so. And absolutely love it. I think the lace front is done extremely well. The parting space is lovely. The color is just wonderful. I love this kind of a darker rooting with the blonde blend of the highlights, and the darker color are just done so well. So highly recommend this for anyone who's interested in a mid-length, sleek style that's very versatile and stunning for any occasion, really. So hope this has been helpful and informative, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.